Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum and a very good evening to our esteemed speaker, Associate Professor Lukman Salihu, our moderator, Ms. Mufaro, the IIS team, all the country representatives, colleagues, and all the attendees. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you all to this webinar titled Financial Independence and Digital Media. I'm confident that our speaker will do justice to this topic from his vast experience and knowledge in diverse fields. I will also like to use this opportunity to tell the participant to harness this forum to gain valuable knowledge on financial independence, the need for financial independence, and the kind of strategies that they can set either short-term or long-term to achieve the said aims. Coincidentally, our esteemed speaker happens to be my mentor as well. So I'm sure from his pool of knowledge, we are going to get a lot of resourceful information on this topic. In that note, I would like to implore us all to make this session very interactive as much as possible and maximize the opportunity. I would also like to solicit with all of you to please adhere to the rules that has been set by our moderator to allow this event to run smoothly without any glitches or. So without wasting time, I want to thank you all for attending this webinar, and I wish you a successful session. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sadiq. Okay, so we will now move on to introducing our speaker. Together with us today, we have Associate Prof. Salihu Lukman. Dr. Salihu Lukman directly coordinated 3 bachelor's degree programs in chemical engineering, civil engineering, chemical engineering, and supervised 2 associate degrees and diploma programs in mechanical engineering technology and non-destructive evaluation technology. Dr. Salihu Lukman responsibilities include teaching, advising students, curriculum development, and evaluation of ABET, which is a US accreditation body for engineering courses, and NCAA Saudi Arabian accreditation body, teaching load assignment, scheduling, new faculty recruitment, purchasing of lab equipment, and coordinating all administrative issues in the mechanical, civil, chemical, and industrial engineering departments. These among his extensive profile in research. Dear students, without further ado, it is our pleasure to welcome Dr. Salihu Lukman to conduct the Financial Independence and Digital Media webinar. Please welcome Dr. Salihu Lukman. Thank you. Over to you, Prof. Okay, thank you so much for joining us again, Dr. Salihu. Can you hear us?
Yes, now I can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, perfect, perfect. All right, so we'll leave time to you, Doctor. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, so can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen, Doctor.
Yes,
we can.
yes.
Okay, thank you. All right. Sorry for joining you now. I had issues with the audio. I couldn't hear anything until when I used the mic. Okay. So this is the topic, financial independence and digital media. And my name is Salih Lukman. And this is the outline that I will use: preamble, disclaimer, motivation, objectives, financial independence, and then the digital media. As a disclaimer, I am not a financial expert. As from the topic, someone would think that, okay, probably I'm someone who has specialized in economics, financial management and all that. No, And am I a digital media expert? No, I am not a digital media expert as well. Then that begs the question that what am I? I'm a civil engineer who specializes in environmental and water resources engineering. Then, again, we'll ask then why should I talk on financial independence and digital media? Well, I'll answer that question. And that takes us to the motivation. What motivates me to have this topic? Abubakar Isa contacted me about 2 weeks or 3 weeks back, asking me if I can present some seminar to the international students at the University Technologi Petronas. Then I asked him what topic. He said anything that will be interesting to undergraduate and postgraduate students. Then I thought over the matter, then what will be of interest to these two different cadres, undergraduate and postgraduate? I mean, definitely I'm not going to talk about research. After all, Malaysian universities are excellent at, preparing a lot of workshops to prepare their students towards research. So what is it that will be of interest to these two different cadres? Then I thought of a journey that I had recently embarked upon, which is a journey towards financial independence using the digital media. And then I thought of this as an avenue to try and talk to the undergraduate and the postgraduate students and try to get them on board, try to raise awareness on this matter so that at least I will have co-travelers. I will have more people that will join me on this journey. Of course, I haven't gone any far into the journey. I am just starting. In fact, I'm at the beginner's level. But then I want to talk to more people, tell them and convince them why they should key into this, why they should strive to be financially independent, and why they should try as much as possible to utilize the digital media in trying to achieve financial independence. So that was the motivation behind the topic. And thereafter, I suggested the topic, and he found it suitable. Now, going to the objectives, like I mentioned under the motivation, the objectives I intend at the end of this seminar that the attendees will be able to internalize the need to become financially independent. And not only internalize the need to become financially independent, but they should be able to set short and long-term concrete plans to achieve this financial independence using digital media. This I intend to achieve, and this I intend that at the end of this webinar, each participant will be able to come up with certain goals, certain short and long-term plans that will see the person towards achieving financial independence. As it was rightly said, that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step. We have to start it now. Of course, it's not something that will happen overnight. Now, on financial independence, what is financial independence? The ability to manage your money in such a way that you have sufficient funds to live your chosen lifestyle without assistance from others. In other words, enough money to meet all your needs, whether you work or not, because a job is really assistance from someone else. That is your employer. This is the definition by Kumuta. Wikipedia tries to rephrase and paraphrase this definition to state that the status of having enough income or wealth sufficient to pay one's living expenses for the rest of one's life without having to be employed or dependent on others. Without having to be employed or dependent on others. Now, given these two definitions, can one attain financial independence overnight? Definitely no. Like I mentioned, under the motivation and the objectives, it cannot happen overnight. One has to plan well ahead of time. And this planning is what I'm going to highlight some points that will enable the listeners and myself to start planning now towards achieving that financial independence. Don't rely on salary, no matter how good it is. That's why in the definition, if you read it again, it says like having enough income or wealth sufficient to pay one's living expenses for the rest of one's life without having to be employed or dependent on others. Without having to be employed. As a salary earner, you are dependent on others. You are dependent on the employer. So don't rely on your salary no matter what, no matter how good it may appear. Strive to be your own employer. Have many streams of income, as many as you can afford. Strive to graduate from being an employee to becoming an employer of labor. That is, be your own boss. But like I said earlier, this will not happen overnight. It takes a lot of planning. Remember, the best of mankind is he who benefits them the most. And failure to plan is indirectly synonymous with planning to fail. Now, on the need for professionals to be financially independent, especially in developing countries. You see, why do I say professionals? Because I'm talking to undergraduate students as well as postgraduate students and all other professionals, whether students or workers. The continuous rising of inflation rates, the continuous inflation rates vis-a-vis dollar exchange. Current trends in the financial markets, you would realize that there is downtrend. You know, the inflation rate is very high, even in the developed nations, in the US, the UK. They all have 40-year inflation rate, 40-year high. Then, when you have inflation, that is not the only case. You also have devaluation of the currencies against the dollar. The pound sterling is at an all-time low against the dollar. The euro is also closing the gap, almost approximately equal to the dollar now. So this will come with attendant consequences in terms of inflation. And then these attendant consequences will lead to poorer standard of living, leading to hardship in all areas. Because one will just wake up overnight and realize that his earnings, his salary, his lifestyle cannot be sustained anymore. Why? Because of inflation. Inflation is eating everywhere in every country due to so many reasons. Of course, the war in Ukraine is one, which is leading to high energy prices, most especially in the developed nations. And then in the developing nations, we have been constantly battling inflation and currency devaluation. Let's take, for instance, in Nigeria, our currency is like now on free fall, getting devalued by the day. Every day you realize the Naira is getting devalued. And then definitely commodities and services will definitely be on the rise on daily basis without commensurate increase in one's earnings. Is there any solution for the free fall of other currencies against the dollar? Yes, there is. You should earn in US dollars wherever you live. This is one of the solutions. You should earn in US dollars wherever you live. You don't have to live in the United States to be able to earn in US dollars. You can earn in US dollars wherever you live, in your town, in your village, no matter how remote that is, as long as you can have access to the digital media, which we are going to explain in the few slides to come. Then it begs the question again, how do you earn in dollars? That takes us to the digital media. Of course, one can earn in dollars in one's own country if one is working with, the multinational organizations that pay in dollars. But here we want to lay a foundation towards financial independence. We don't just want to earn in dollars, but we want to earn in dollars as well as lay the necessary foundations so that at the end we become our employers, not employees, so that we employ other people, not become employers, not become employees. And that will now take us to the digital media. Now, what is digital media? It is any form of media that uses electronic devices for distribution. This form of media can be created, viewed, modified, and distributed via electronic devices. Digital media is commonly used software, video games, videos, websites, social media, and online advertising. This is the definition according to digital logic. So these are the different components of the digital media. We'll take each one of them and expatiate and tell you how can you key in, how can you earn money, how can you strive to be financially independent by keying into the digital media. How can we use digital media to earn in dollars and attain financial independence? Another question, must I have a special talent? This I will answer in the next slide. Now, how can we use digital media to attain financial independence? If you look at the different components of the digital media, one of the skills that one may need is coding. And coding finds its way into software development, video games, as well as development of websites. Coding is one of the most important skills that one requires. And of course, we have several examples to cite in this case. The richest person on earth currently is Elon Musk. You know, he was into coding since, when he was small, around 12 years old. And then in 1995, he went to this, he was in the States, he developed a website in which the website will be on working during the day and at night. He mentioned in one of his interviews that he will be coding throughout the night, to the extent that the small space he has, his system, like his office, that is where he sleeps. His girlfriend had to join him there, meaning that is his office, that is his room, that is his house, that is his everything. So coding is very important. Bill Gates has been coding since, he has interest in coding since when he was a small kid. And that saw him into becoming the youngest billionaire in the history. That record has not been beaten. He became a billionaire at the age of 21. At the age of 21, Bill Gates was a billionaire. And that was because he keyed into coding. So coding is one of the most important skills that we can have, or that we can ensure that our kids, our family members possess. Now, video games, social media, and online advertising. These are other forms of the digital media in which most of us are aware of. Videos. We all watch videos on YouTube, on other social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and others. And then online advertising. With this, depending on one's, because like I said, it is a journey that one has to plan. You don't start it overnight. You have to have a subscriber base, large followership, either on YouTube, on Facebook, on TikTok. And then as long as you are producing good content, good, let's say, videos, that is, you are a content creator. As long as you can produce good content, be it video, write-up, or any other thing that will, entice people to become your followers, to subscribe to your channels and all that, then a lot of doors will be opened, such as brand deals. Brand will be contacting you to, review their products and then pay you in the process to advertise or to sponsor your shows entirely. There are a lot of examples in this regards. Derek Muller, his channel, he has a YouTube channel called Veritasium, and I think on Facebook as well. All he knows ever since growing up as a high school student was that he wants photography. His interest was in photography. But then he went and studied physics at undergraduate. He is Australian, Canadian. After that, he wants to go to photography, applied several places, but was rejected. He went ahead to study PhD, where he studied science education, how to teach science education using videos. And then he produced his channel. When you watch his videos, they are excellent at teaching basic scientific ideas, physics concepts, chemistry, biology, and most other scientific concepts. Kabilami or Kabani, this is the most popular TikToker, a Senegalese Italian, a dyslexic. I'll come and talk about it later. He's dyslexic. 2020, due to the lockdown, he was out of job. He was a waiter and a factory worker, earning less about $8,000 per month. Due to the lockdown, he started making videos. And these videos, there are no sounds at all. He will just present maybe a complicated situation and try to present it or do it in a simpler way. That's it. He mentioned when he was interviewed by NAS Daily that when he started, he had 2 followers, his father and a neighbor. And then in 1 month, he had 9 views. Now I can tell you he's the most famous TikToker with over 151 million followers on TikTok and over 80 million on Instagram. That's making a total of about 230 million followers. Of course, this fame will definitely come with a lot of deals, a lot of financial engagements, a lot of doors will open for him. We have Grady Hillhouse, the host of Practical Engineering Channel, a YouTube channel. Also, he's a civil engineer. He produces a lot of excellent videos in trying to teach civil engineering concepts with models and excellent explanations. We have Kevin Stratford. These are productivity. He produced productivity videos telling us how to, like, for video editing, how to use like Microsoft packages and all that. And then we have one of our own, Dr. Abdul Rashid. He was my student at undergraduate back at Ahmadu Bello University. I supervised his undergraduate project, and then he is an alumnus of University Technologi Petronas. He has excellent videos also on productivity as well as how to make money online, teaching people a lot of software and how to, do a lot of things on the internet. His YouTube channel is Epic Mentorship. We have also Neil deGrasse Tyson, whose channel is Star Talk, talking about the cosmos and a lot of other scientific ideas. Someone shouldn't say that I'm just into, science and engineering. Then we have Dr. Daniel Fox, whose channel is on YouTube as well, talking about psychology, teaching people about the concept, most especially personality psychology, borderline personality disorder, narcissistic personality disorder, bipolar disorder, and a lot of other psychological or mental health problems. So why do I mention all this? You see, Derek Muller is a PhD. Daniel Fox is a PhD. Abdul Rashid is a PhD. Neil deGrasse Tyson is a PhD. Well, so don't think because you feel you are an academic or you are a postgraduate student that you have nothing to offer in the digital media. You have a lot to offer. Even if you want to stick to your own area of specialization, you can impact a lot. You can do a lot. You can key into the digital media and you can gain a lot of financial independence through that. Now, what about people living with mental disability? In the previous slide, I asked a question that, do I need a special talent before I can key into the digital media? So marry that question with this one. What about people living with mental disability? Normally, due to our, we oftentimes like look down upon those with mental disability. We usually think they will have no future in life. But of these two, there are two great people here that I mentioned, Elon Musk and Kaby Lame. They all have mental disabilities. Elon Musk, he mentioned in one of his shows, in one of the shows that he was featured, that he has Asperger's syndrome. Asperger's syndrome is on the autism spectrum disorder. Autism spectrum disorder is a broad term, that incorporates many neurological developmental disorders, and Asperger's syndrome, or AS, is one of them, although it's always referred to as level 1 ASPD. But Asperger's syndrome, those with Asperger's syndrome usually, they have difficulty with social interaction, and they engage in repetitive behavior, and they focus on rules and patterns, and they have a firm stand on opinions and beliefs. But they also have a lot of positive values, such as they can focus, they have hyper focus, and they have great attention to detail. These two things will make anyone successful at problem solving. And those with Asperger's syndrome also, they may have, some signs of ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, which is another neurodevelopmental disorder. So Asperger's syndrome is referred to as also is a neurodevelopmental disorder. Elon Musk has this mental disability. He mentioned it. He confessed. Kaby Lame, or Kabani Lame, is dyslexic. He has dyslexia. Dyslexia is a learning disorder. Usually, people with dyslexia has issues with reading, completing a math problem, time management, as well as memorization. But dyslexia has no relation with intelligence. So, and also dyslexia, people with dyslexia may also have symptoms of ADHD, that is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. So when you look at AS, that's Asperger's syndrome, which Elon Musk has, and Kaby Lame, who has dyslexia, they have something in common. They can all have ADHD. And this ADHD, I talked in details about ADHD in one of my videos on my YouTube channel, where I was talking about some of these mental health disorders. ADHD although it has a lot of cons, but it has some pros as well, just like Asperger's syndrome. One of the pros of ADHD is that people living with ADHD, they can create, invent, and innovate. They have good entrepreneurial skills, and they can be good at sport, excellent at sport. So these three characteristics will definitely make one excel in life. And these two people, their mental disabilities are all related to ADHD in one way or another. So just living with mental disability doesn't make you a failure. Okay, just because you have autism, you have ADHD, you have dyslexia, it doesn't make you a failure. You can key into the digital media and make a name for yourself, just like Elon Musk and Kaby Lame did for themselves. That is ability in every disability. I have highlighted this point. Despite the disability in these mental disorders, each one you realize that is associated with great abilities. The watchwords here are create, invent, and innovate. Whatever you do, whatever video there are a lot of videos, there are many things that you can do. All you need to do is to see, okay, what can I do different? How can I key in? How can I stand out? What can I add? Just like, as an academic, When you do literature review, you gather all previous works done in that area. And then at the end, try to pinpoint, okay, what can I add to the body of literature? It may be very small, yet you need to add something to it, even if it's a drop in the ocean. So that is the watchword. You need to try to highlight how can you create, invent, and innovate, based on the current, what is existing in the market, what you already have. And then irrespective of your area of expertise, you will always have something to chip in. Other sources of income using digital media, freelancing. 36% of the US workforce in 2020, they are into freelancing. And freelancing accords, one, freedom to choose one's workload, projects, as well as clients. So you can work at any time that you wish, and you can choose the workload depending on your capacity, depending on your time and all that. And there are many websites that offer freelancing jobs. Freelancing basically here is you try to advertise, you try to lay bare your capabilities. You go to these websites, you have freelancer.com, upwork.com, microworkers.com, and a lot of them are available on the internet. All you need to do is to register, highlight your capabilities. Most of them, you realize they have a lot of jobs in coding, website development, and also there are a lot of other jobs in advertising and all that. I can remember one of them when I signed up, I was contacted for a $1,000 job. But then I was so busy at the time that I couldn't accept the job offer. Then another issue that you can also key in is technical writing. As an academic or as a postgraduate student or even undergraduate student, you will be writing a lot of term projects, articles in journals and all that. So technical writing is not an issue at all. You have a lot of websites that you can gain a lot of money by just writing articles for them. You see, all the big websites that we normally frequent to learn one or two things, you realize they have articles written by different authors. So all these articles, when you do write them, you get paid. You can get paid up to about $500 to over $1,000 per article. So if you still don't want to deviate, you don't want to digress from your main area of expertise, you can key into technical writing. Of course, you have written so many journal articles, maybe in high impact factor journals. But of course, you have gotten the fame, the citations and all that. Then what about using the same skill you learned in article writing towards attaining financial independence, towards having some return on investment, towards gaining some financial, benefit from that? Another part that you can also key in is course creation and selling. As an academic as well, or as a postgraduate student or whatever, you might have created courses, you might have been teaching for so long. Don't you know that you can pile up, you can, clean up those courses and, present them in a very nice way and sell those courses at Udemy, Skillshare, Coursera, and a lot of other platforms. This is one of the ways that you can make big money. You just create your course, sell it, and then you just wait. After every week or 2 weeks, your dollars will just be tripping. It will just be trickling into your account, your domiciliary account. And that's it. Okay? So I'm emphasizing about this point, the technical writing, the freelancing, the course creation and selling, because more often than not, when you look at digital media, it is flooded with, all sorts of information. And really there is need for our professionals to key into the digital media platforms and find ways by which they can contribute into making excellent contents, okay, and improve the contents of the digital media. As simple as filling surveys, or trying new products and services, or downloading apps, or watching videos and signing up for websites, you can get paid. Try Ysense.com. Just filling surveys. You fill survey and then bam, you have your dollar coming into your account. Work out, transcribing, typing. Work out. You get paid for remaining active, for going out to work, for having thousands of states per day. You have sweat coin, in which they give you, for every 1,000 they give you 1 sweat coin, and when they accumulate, you can make purchases online. Transcribing, simple typing. We are all expert at typing. Simple typing. You can all earn money with each one of this. So to say that I must have like a special talent before I can key into the digital media, that will not hold water. You only need to check where can you key into. I'm very sure we all have, our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and all that. And in each of these, we can make money from them. We can make money from Facebook, even from WhatsApp. As simple as WhatsApp. You can make a lot of money by using WhatsApp. By using WhatsApp, there are many ways that you can make money using WhatsApp. All we need to do is to explore. Of course, the aim of the webinar is not like to take you into the nitty-gritty, the very steps, like how do I use Facebook in making money, or Instagram, or TikTok, or YouTube. No. The main aim of the seminar is to raise awareness. It's like a wake-up call to awaken your mind and bring you onto the journey, make you a co-traveler, so that you open your eyes and say at the end that, okay, I want to aspire to become financially independent, and I want to utilize the digital media in achieving this financial independence. Then once you have this mindset, then the next point or the next thing to do is now, how do you do that? So you can now go back and look at each of these points are raised and then see how you can key in. For more on how to make money online, check this YouTube channel. It's called Reno's Masterclass. I found this channel really very interesting. He produced a lot of videos explaining, how you can make money online, the different things you can do, and the different websites you can visit, and exactly how he will take you through. Of course, in the website, you realize he has some other videos that may not be related to that, but there are many videos on how to make money online, which he produces, periodically. In conclusion, professionals must think out of the box and key into the digital economy using their expertise. They should also carry their families along. That's very important. When I say professionals, I'm talking to, you are undergraduate, soon you will graduate and be, a full-fledged professional. Are you a postgraduate student? You are already a professional. So we should think out of the box. Yeah, we should think, if you want to think academics only, think academics. But then you can think of academics vis-a-vis digital media, vis-a-vis how do you key into the digital economy? How can you use your knowledge, your passion towards enhancing yourself and others, as well as carry on your families along? By this, I mean your kids, and then your wife as well, or wives if you have more than one. Your kids should be prepared, should be empowered with all the digital skills. I mentioned 2 things. I mentioned coding. I mentioned video editing. These are 2 of the most important digital skills that anyone should possess. All these, YouTube channels and all, these money-making ventures, you normally find yourself in one way or another making videos. So you need to be able to make excellent videos. Sometimes you find someone having a lot of followership, even if the content is not even interesting, as long as you can make excellent videos. Then coding. I cited example about Elon Musk, Bill Gates, and a lot of others. So coding is one skill that we should ensure that our families possess. I just finished explaining coding and skills are some of the hottest digital skills one can have in this digital age. And we should all become ambassadors and promoters of financial independence using digital media. Like I mentioned in the motivation section, that I want to recruit more people to join me on this journey. I want to have many co-travelers so that together we travel, we try to set to start our journey towards financial independence. Like I mentioned, I haven't gone anywhere. So I haven't gone anywhere. I am just starting. So I want to recruit all that are listening to also be my co-travelers so that together we can attain financial independence by keying into the digital media. And we should all become content creators and try to flood the digital media with more useful content for the overall good of the humanity. Like I mentioned, the digital media is full with useful and sometimes even non-useful contents. So we should all key into this, become content creators, no matter what you are, no matter what you do. Even if you feel you have no talent, at least you can use Microsoft Office. You can use Word excellently. You can use Excel. Why don't you start teaching people how to use Microsoft Word and Excel? Some thrive on that. Maybe you are good at typing. You type at the speed of light very fast. Why don't you utilize that? Maybe you can write very fast. Why don't you go into transcription business? Maybe you are an excellent academic. You have many articles in all the high impact factor journals, Q1 ISI. Okay, fine. You have gained, recognition by your publication, by your citation and all that. But then you can also gain financial independence. You can also start writing to some websites using your technical content and get a lot of money. These are some resources, some books about financial independence, Smart Woman, How to Gain Financial Independence and Create Wealth, your blueprint to financial independence, Think Yourself Rich, a step-by-step guide to financial independence, and Building Wealth and Being Happy, a practical guide to financial independence. Then the myth and realities of achieving financial independence. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Jazakumullah khair.
You are welcome.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Salih Lukman. So for this power-packed and lucrative talk on financial independence in digital media, I believe that we have all learned lifelong lessons from this webinar. So whilst we are preparing for the Q&A, I would advise all the attendees who have questions for Dr. to either unmute your mic and ask the question, or you can actually post the question in the chat. But before we start the Q&A session, Dr. allow us to just do a 5-minute lucky draw session for our attendees who are in this session. Yeah.
Okay.
So yes. So I'll just share my screen. Yeah. Okay. Are you able to see my screen? Okay. So
Yes.
we'll begin the lucky draw session. All right. So for our first winner, is Muhammad Sani Yaya. Okay, we'll spin the wheel for our second winner. Our second winner is Muhammad Kadir Muhammad Razin. We spin our wheel for the last winner. Our last winner is Munodawafa Russell Tatenda. Thank you all attendees for joining this session. So for now, we'll open the floor to the session for question and answer. If you have any questions, please feel free to unmute your mic or you can raise your hand. Maybe Dr. whilst we are waiting for people to post in their questions, I do have a question for myself. Since we are talking about financial independence in the digital media, how do we protect ourselves, from the dangers that comes, with also using the digital space for earning money?
Well, the dangers that come from using the digital media in terms of financial transaction, most especially they will, relate to one, that could be hacking, your account to be hacked, which is very important. All your accounts, you should ensure that you have like two-factor authentication. And I think all these media platforms, the social media platforms, they all have provision of two-factor authentication. So you should ensure that all your accounts are secured using two-factor authentication methods, all of them, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, and all that. So that your account will be secured in the first instance. And then all these, accounts, for instance, they have peculiar method of payment. For instance, YouTube, they use what is called AdSense. So in AdSense, you use your account, you go and register, enter your account details, your domiciliary account details, where if you have a payout, they will directly transfer or check out the money to that account. And if you don't receive it, you can follow up with your bank because you will have like a paper that you can follow up. So that AdSense establishes like a secure platform for you to be earning your money. And even in the AdSense, you can even assign more than one account in case maybe you have a manager and all that. Facebook has another platform for making the payment. But like I mentioned, one of the most important things to do with the security here is securing your account so that someone will not hack your account. Because once he hacks into your account, he can go and make changes in your payment profile without you knowing. So you have to ensure the two-factor authentication process.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, just a follow-up question, because I've always wondered if my account has been hacked in. So are there any telltale signs, like any signs that I can know that maybe my computer has been hacked or my account, anything that I can look out for?
Yes. One, when accounts are hacked, the hackers sometimes they change the account profile, they change the account name. Sometimes they will not do that, but they will be contacting your contact. They will be reaching out to your contacts, asking them for money, providing account details that, okay, maybe I'm in this, I'm in that. And then your contacts, those that know who you are, may find it strange. Oh, how can this guy ask me for money? So they will reach out to you, maybe via your phone, call you, say, are you really the one sending me? Then that will now send the red light that something is happening with my account. Or sometimes when your account is hacked, they may be posting, they may be advancing certain websites or certain programs, certain vague, vague financial dealings that will be attractive, that maybe if you invest in this, you will get this, you will get that. Certain vague financial dealings, they will be posting on your behalf. So in this case, also, when you are in a group, when people see certain posts that are really not representing what you stand for, they reach out to the account holder that I think his account is hacked. So these are some of the areas or some of the things that you can monitor to understand whether your account is hacked or not. And another point also is good to be changing your password periodically and make sure you have a very strong password that is difficult to crack, alphanumeric, alphabets, characters, and all that. Not just maybe your password, your surname, or something like that. So you need to be changing your password periodically. Make it difficult for anyone to be able to crack it.
All right, thank you so much, Prof. We have two other people ready with their questions. Maybe we can first hear from Kazi Sohail Imran. You can unmute your mic.
Yeah, okay. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible, yes.
All right. Right. Thank you so much, Doctor, for this interesting topic. My question is related to something you mentioned, Upworks and many other websites where we can register and earn, make ourselves financially stable. Do you have any website, like being a PhD scholar, most of us are equipped with research related capabilities or competencies. And for example, I'm from geoscience. I'm doing my PhD in geoscience, so I'm well equipped with the software and the work which I have been doing related to my my field. Is there a website where more of your field related jobs are offered, like this Upwork and Fiverr or other websites? They are more general, like they're offering jobs like virtual assistant and many others, but most of us are not very conversant. We have to learn those capabilities, have to learn those skills. But many skills as a PhD student, we are related to research, we are conversant with that, and also interpreting the data and all that. So is there a website or a platform where more science related jobs are offered? People wants to do they offer, like they have a project related to your mechanical discipline, geoscience. And if you could just any idea about such a website? Maybe LinkedIn, one of these could be one platform, but any other like Upworks or Fiverr? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kadi. If you remember, I cited example in which I was contacted by one of the, in one of the websites that I also like registered. I think it is Upwork. Most of these websites, they don't only provide coding opportunities. Okay, Upwork in particular. Okay, you can, as an academic, as a scholar, as a specialist, you can upload, make clear your talents, your capabilities, and you will be contacted in those areas. The area that I was contacted, my area of expertise is soil and groundwater remediation. My PhD work was, remediating a soil using contaminated with heavy metals, and organics, both polar and non-polar, and then I remediated the soil using coupled or integrated electrokinetics and adsorption techniques. So I was contacted in this area in particular, in my specialized area. I was contacted with a $1,000 job. But at that point in time, I was so busy because I have my full-time job here, so I couldn't accept the offer. But I just want to tell you that, your expertise, in software, in this, in that, you will be contacted in those specific areas. All you need to do is to go to these websites and register your profile. Highlight your capabilities as much as possible, and surely you'll be contacted in those specialized areas. Hope that answers the question.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Thank you so much, Prof. The next, can we hear from Mr. Sahid Hadey-Gulev?
Good afternoon. My question is that I want to open several types of content in YouTube. For example, is one kind of content. In Instagram, it's another. So you assume that it will be more safer if I create several accounts and not connect all of that areas to the only one account?
Okay. You see, what you do is this. When you create a YouTube channel, you upload your videos, you will have your subscriber base and you have your views. And then if you have already monetized it, then at the end, I mean, you will be paid depending on the impressions and all that. When you share the same link, let's say on your Facebook, whoever clicks will refer him back to YouTube. I mean, it will open the video on YouTube and then your views on YouTube will be rising. So you may not, you will not gain anything on Facebook. But then if you upload the same video on your Facebook profile, either as reel or as a video, and then it generates views on Facebook, then depending on if you are creating a page, if you monetize your page, then you can get payment depending on the number of views. But all this, there are conditions, before one can monetize his page, either on YouTube, TikTok or Facebook, because you need to have certain number of subscribers or followers, as well as certain number of views per month. So if you now upload the same video on YouTube, that will also like create a subscriber base or like a view. The views on Facebook you can now be earning in the two platforms. You earn on YouTube for the same video that you now upload on Facebook. You can also monetize and then earn on YouTube. The same video, if you can upload on TikTok, you can also upload it and then earn on YouTube. So you can earn on various social media platforms using one single video. That is why all these content creators, you realize that they have YouTube channels, they have Facebook page, they have TikTok account, they have Instagram. Because you can earn independently using the same content in each of these outlets. So rather than just like uploading on YouTube and just sharing the link from YouTube on all the other social media platforms, it will be better you upload in each of these platforms and then strive to earn in each of these platforms. That will add to your revenue.
Got it. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much.
Thank you so much, Said. Thank you, Doctor. So we have another question from Mr. Mohammed Malami. You can unmute your mic and go ahead and ask.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. Thank you very much. Good morning once again. Yes, Prof, as you have highlighted, this kind of talk, I think it's come at at a time that is very, very topical, because nowadays, whatever you do, you still need that extra source of income to complement your normal pay. So, but my problem with the digital media is around data protection and data security, because obviously you need to manage your digital footprint. And we live in a time where you tend to hear more about, data phishing. And then when you register for all this media, they tend to ask as much of your details, but then you keep wondering where will your information get to, and then at the end of the day, how you can be able to manage that. And the issue is, who is actually regulating this space? I think we need to have more awareness about data privacy and data security, especially in the digital media, because most of these social media, they're free of charge. And many a times when you put your data on something that is free, I mean, the only way they can benefit is by using your data also to do some statistics and also some service. So I think we need to have more awareness around that. Thank you very much once again. I really appreciate the talk. Well done.
Thank you, Dr. Malemi, for your comment here. As you rightly put it, the issue of data security, data privacy in particular, is one of the hot topics, ravaging the digital media, which is something that, promoters, public policy makers and all that are worried about. But as you rightly put it, but if you look at it very well, most of the times they usually disclose that, okay, maybe your data may be used for this, for that, the area in which it can be used they have been like forced to sometimes declare it, although it is still an ongoing debate. Recently, Mark Zuckerberg, the owner of Facebook, the Meta, was, appeared before the House committee, and I think before the Senate or the Congress in the States. And this is one of the questions that they hammered on, about the security, about the data usage and all that. And surprisingly, after that sitting alone, the shares of Facebook rose. He gained, I think, about $3 billion after that interview alone, because people were expecting maybe the Congress will be hard on him. They may ask him to do a lot of things that may not augur well on the company. But then he explained the things he could. And then at the end, just after that, he gained about $3 billion. So that is an issue, it's an ongoing debate. We cannot turn a blind eye on that. And we hope things will improve. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Prof. We do have one more question, again from Mr. Kazi Sohail Imran. You can go ahead and unmute your mic.
Right, thank you. So we have a range of social media available today. There are several like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, so many. If I may ask you, like if you have to start digital marketing or something like this, such business, of course you will choose a few of these social media platforms. Would you go for like several, or maybe if you like to rate top 3 to select 1, 2, 3 and start your business with that first? So how would be your strategy? Would you go for many, or would you just focus on top 3, and why those would be your selection? Thank you.
Okay. So this boils down to your personal product. What is your aim? Okay. You can find someone very popular on Facebook, but his YouTube account, he has few subscribers. You can find someone very popular on TikTok, but on Facebook account, very few subscribers. So, like I mentioned, this will boil down to exactly your product. And then that will now tailor you towards selecting, okay, which one is the best for you. Let me give you an instance. Let's take TikTok. TikTok, more often than not, you realize you can only upload videos. And the videos, they have to be short, like less than 10 minutes. Videos only and less than 10 minutes. So there, if you're a content creator, you are producing excellent short videos, that could be an avenue for you. Now, if you go to Facebook, you can have videos, you can have lengthy ones. Now they introduced reels, shorter ones. And then you can upload anything. You can upload media. You can upload, a file. You can upload this and that. You can create a page and promote your business. Promote your business. You can advertise. You can pay Facebook to promote a particular post. You can pay Facebook to advertise your page to gain followers and likes. This is not like a scam. You pay them small amount and they will advertise your page, and then you get a lot of likes and followers so that you advertise your product. And you can assign, and you can also assign like managers on your page and all that. Going back, let's move to now Instagram. Instagram, you have a picture and a video as well. More often than not, the videos are also short. You can open an online store on Instagram. You can have a catalog where you interact with your customers and all that. Although they haven't started like monetization process for now, but you can do a lot of things on Instagram, depending on your subscriber base. On YouTube as well, if you have good subscriber base, if you create good videos with good views, you can have a lot of brand deals. A lot of brands will be contacting you, will be sponsoring you, the opportunities are endless. So like I mentioned, it all depends on exactly what do you want to do. But at the end of it all, trying to have more than one, it is a very good idea, because you can earn in each of these. You can earn good money in each of these platforms. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kazi. We do have one more question from Fatima Mahmoud. You can go ahead and unmute your mic.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for a succinct presentation. I quite agree. It's timely indeed. Mine is a contribution on the issue being discussed. For some of us, it may actually be a bit late for us to acquire some of these skills, but I think it's about time that we encourage our kids. I think it's time that we try to harness our kids' abilities, encourage them to do better at it, and then find the appropriate avenue in the digital world where they can actually be encouraged to share their ideas with the world and even get financial benefit from doing that. I interacted with a parent lately who was having challenges with her daughter being interested in arts and painting. The dad was not encouraging at all being a scientist, and however, the girl obviously had a talent for it, and she was very good. Along the line, an uncle encouraged her to do more paintings, and he found some website somewhere where he could actually share her skill with the world. And eventually, it got to a point where she was actually getting money for this skill. The same thing can be applied even in writing skills. Try to harness the child's skill of writing, share it with the world. It serves as encouragement for the child, and it also serves as a platform for that child to start the journey of financial independence from a very tender age. Thank you once again, Prof, for the presentation.
Thank you for the comment, but I disagree with you on the first, on your opening statement that it may be too late for you now. Okay, that may be relative. Okay, like I itemize all the different areas in which one can key into. As simple as working out, just exercise. I mean, it's good to work out. I mean, as it was rightly said, we should have like 10,000 steps per day. You can get paid for that. So I don't agree that it is really too late for you to key in. Okay, and on the digital skills, probably you may think that, okay, the digital skills required, let's say the video editing, the coding, and all that, most of the creators, usually they start by, creating their own videos, but later they have to employ others to be managing their video editing, and all that. So it is not really late for you to key into the digital media now. And of course, it goes without saying, it cannot be overemphasized, the need for us to bring in our kids to make sure they have the right orientation, the right foundation, and all that. I want to give an example of my first child, who is just in JS3 now. Since when JS3, that's grade 10. Since when he was in JS1, I introduced him to coding. He learned HTML, CSS, Python, JavaScript, and all that. And now he has started learning robotics. I mean, creating, making like C++ programs to control Arduino and then make certain robots like that. And he's just in grade 9. So we can really imbibe these digital skills into our kids. Currently, I just sent him CapCut on the phone, the mobile app, and asked him to learn video editing. So we can really do something in this regards to make sure our kids get the necessary digital skills. We don't have to wait until, they finish the university or all that. They can get it at much younger age, much the same way, like Elon Musk. He made his first video game at the age of 12, and earned $500. He designed a video game. He coded and designed a video game, sold it for $500. And that video game, was about, space and all that, Star Wars and all that. And then at the end, look at what he's doing in Starlink. Look at what he's doing, sending, a lot of things into the space, creating Starlink, which has over 2,000 satellites, 2,000 satellites in space. So it has to start somewhere. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. We have one more question from Mr. Muhammad Malami. You can go ahead, sir.
Oh, thank you very much once again. Sorry, initially I thought I would have one question, but then your last comment actually stimulated this question. So, Prof, I watched with keen interest when you mentioned about introducing your kids to the tech world, to the coding and all of that. I don't know if, Prof, you could please give some recommendation as to if one wants to do that, where will he start? How? Are there any, maybe some materials to start reading or some programs to start following? I don't know if you can please shed more light on that and maybe give some recommendations. Thank you, especially for the kids.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for this question. How it started was, I have this policy with my kids. I have 10 kids. So first I introduce them to the Quran. They have to memorize the Quran first. So once they memorize the Quran, then I will now introduce them to the digital world. So he memorized the Quran when he was just 2020, that he was 11. So that was when I now introduced him to the digital world. And it started this way. Duba, that is Dr. Ibrahim Duba, who at that time opened a class on WhatsApp about coding to teach kids from 6 to 16 years. Then I have always had this interest on coding. Of course, I learned some programs, Fortran, and other few, programs and all that. But coding a website and all, I had this interest for time immemorial. So I saw this group to be for kids about coding. I said, okay, let me go and learn first myself, then come back and teach my kid. So I joined the group, Dr. Duba's coding class, with kids and elders, of course. So we were introduced to the coding, Mike Mayer's book on HTML and CSS. It is a very good book. I don't remember the name of the book, but it is written by Mark Mayers. It is a very excellent book to start with good explanation and good online exercises. So after learning a few things in the group, I realized that I can continue on my own. So I left the group and continued learning HTML and CSS on my own. And then, because I was here in Saudi and my kid was there in Nigeria, so I taught him online the HTML and CSS. So I taught him online, I put him through, and then he now started. He now continued. So when he continued, I now enrolled him because back there in Zaria, there is a school called Technologi, which they open about coding and all that. So I enrolled him in that school. He got more training there about, Python and HTML and CSS as well. So after that, we opened a website using Blogger so that he can start, doing live coding and see how it will appear on a live website. Thereafter, again, I found another area there in Zaria at Kabama. I forgot the name of the institution. It's managed by one Ila, very excellent web designer. So I enrolled him as well for front end. So he went there, learned WordPress, front end development and all that. So that, augmented and strengthened his web design capabilities. So now he has started learning back end. Then at the same time, because I have been asking him, what does he want to do? So he told me that he has interest in robotics. So in robotics, it means he has to, probably like mechatronics will be fine. So there is one of my friend, my high school friend, a genius for that matter, who has been, he has been blessed. He can create a lot of, electrical appliances called Engineer Yahoo. So I went to him and told him that, can I please enroll? Can my kid please be coming over to you on weekends to be learning robotics? He said, why not? He recently created, an electric vehicle. He created an electric vehicle. He created, this automatic hand sanitizer, hand washing machine in which he got a patent for. So I now, I now joined him with Engineer Yahoo, in which he goes every weekend and learn a lot of, robotics. They will program using C++, program Arduino, then create robots, cars, even aeroplanes. They have started, working on aeroplanes and using a lot of sensors and, all that. And there are a lot of online platforms that your kid can also key into. There is this kid coding for kids, in which your kid can get enrolled. And I think there is this online platform by, I think, STEM. STEM also, they have an online class for coding for kids as well. And STEM, I think they are based in Lagos, but it is online based. So there are a lot of outlets that your kids can be enrolled in this. You just have to look around wherever you are. I am sure you will find many other outlets, because nowadays, as we all know, artificial intelligence is the in thing. Okay, so there are a lot of outlets that one, can get enrolled. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. Really appreciate
You're welcome.
it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Prof. We do have one more question from Ms. Fatima Mahmood. You can go ahead, Ms. Fatima.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the enlightenment, Prof, once again. I just want to emphasize on a particular point on the issue of introducing kids to digital media. I think the content of what we expose our kids to and the timing of when we introduce them to these things is extremely important. I work in a hospital, and I think it's important we know that online predators are a genuine problem once we expose our kids to the online platform, to the digital world. So it's extremely important that we actually guide what we expose our kids to. And I think that is why, while Prof was explaining this issue, he did mention that the child was actually up to a particular age before he was exposed to some of these things. Because invariably, once there's a point you reach where if a child is going to be exposed to these things, then there's some danger that comes with it as well. So there has to be some degree of moral understanding that a child has before we can introduce them to these things. And as always, we need to continue to watch over them and guide them and supervise what they do, because it is really a dangerous world out there. Thank you.
Yes, this is a very good comment, really. In fact, it may take another seminar to maybe explain about the dangers that the digital media poses to the kids. Okay, but by and large, supervision is very important. Adequate supervision and then, of course, sometimes installation of certain programs could help monitor the activities of the kids on the social media and the availability of certain things, to the kid. So there are many things that can be handled or that can be done to restrict, like the or to monitor the activities of kids, on the digital media, which, like I mentioned, that would be like a seminar on its own. But we need to watch out. We need to watch out. And unfortunately, at this time and age, we cannot, completely stop our kids from accessing the digital media, no matter how hard we may try, because more often than not, you realize even in their schools, they have computer labs, computer classes. Some schools, they will emphasize that the kids must have tablets and all that. So there is little we can do at, let's say, denying them access to this digital media, but there is so much that we can do to monitor what they do. And that is an issue that we really need to take to heart. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. Dr. Salihu Lukman, for such a lucrative and power-packed webinar. I believe everyone here in attendance can testify to this, that we actually learned a lot in this talk today. So before we give time to the Vice President for the AIS Association, I'd like everyone to just open your camera so we can have a photo session with our prof before he leaves. So maybe can we all switch on our videos for a photo session? Okay, I'm waiting for more people to switch on their videos. Okay, on 3, yeah. So just any pause on 3, yeah. So 3, 2, 1. All right. Sadiq, can you also take from your side, yeah? If it's possible. Okay, one more, maybe this time freestyle. 3, 2, 1. All right, thank you all. Thank you so much for the photo session. So I'll leave this time to our Vice President for the Association of International Students, Mr. Abubakar Sadiq Issa, for the closing remarks.
Thank you very much, our esteemed speaker, for the insightful and resourceful sharing. In fact, I have personally learned a lot, and it has awakened my zeal to key into digital media. I also want to give special thanks to our moderator, Ms. Mufaro. And the speaker made mention of 2 important points among a lot of things that has been shared. He said, as an academic, either UG or postgraduates, you can contribute to the digital media, not only for earning, but you give valuable content to your audience, you improve the life and you add value to the society. So when you do that, in addition, you also get monetize stuff. But the point he was trying to make there is not just about the financial freedom. It also comes with an additional value you are adding to the society. And then we have this task to add more meaningful content, to the digital media. And another important thing is the world has come into a passive income generation. Relying on the active way, it's not very sustainable, I believe, because of course a lot of things can happen that probably people get retrenched from work and etc. So, but with passive income, it's something that it's continuous once your content is there and etc. So he also made mention that at any stage you should not say it's late or early to start. You can start at a very good time from UG, in fact, even from foundation, because he gave a very good example that his kids just from 11 years started having access to this. So it means even foundation can start to look into this. So once again, I thank you very much for this wonderful sharing, and I'm sure we've all learned a lot. I want to thank all our participants, the guests, and everyone present. Thank you once again. Have a nice day ahead.
Thank you everyone for joining the webinar. We have come to the end of our webinar session. Thank you so much, Prof, for the time that you graced us today.
The pleasure is all mine.
Yes, and we also wish you many blessings, in future as well. So thank you everyone. Yes, we are free to leave.
Thank you so much.